and tell him, Babur Zeh, because of this, Hashem took us out of Egypt. Yes, at the time the matzot and the merorim, the maror, is in front of a person. Babur Zeh, in the chest of this, Hashem took me out. And that's why you have to be careful, Erev Pesach, not to eat matzah. You're not allowed to eat matzah Erev Pesach. It's a sur. That means Wednesday morning you want to eat matzah, you cannot. But I just want to taste it. Charidim, they say it's good matzah. Cannot eat it. It's a sur. What are you allowed to eat? A sur. You cannot Erev Pesach to eat matzah. What are you allowed to eat? If you want to eat egg matzah Erev Pesach, you're allowed to eat egg matzah Erev Pesach, because egg matzah, it's called matzah ashira. What does that mean, matzah ashira? Rich matzah. Why rich matzah and poor matzah? Poor matzah, I know why. If you buy a lot, you're going to, you can become poor. They say that some of them are already upwards of, no? It's up there. So it's called matzah ashira, and we're going to discuss today in the Rambam Be'ezrat Hashem if matzah ashira is allowed or not allowed. Are we allowed to eat egg matzah? Are we allowed to eat the cookies that they sell? The cookies they sell on the market today, the wine cookies they call them, yes? They have these little holes, yeah? Are we allowed to eat those cookies? Or maybe it's asur to eat such a thing on Pesach. So we are in the Rambam in chapter 5, Perek He, Vilchot Hametz Umatzah. Before we get into that halakha, we have to learn an important halakha as follows. En asur mishum hametz b'Pesach ela hameshet minei dagan bilvad. The only prohibition you have of chametz on Pesach is from the 5 minei dagan, types of grains, bilvad, the Rambam writes. What does bilvad mean? Only these 5, nothing else. Nothing else is chametz. What are these 5? He says 2 types of wheat and 3 types of barley. It's wheat, spelt, barley, rye, and oats. These are the 5 zlak, 5 species of grain that are asur to consume in a chametz form. Yes, wheat, what did I say? Wheat, barley, spelt, rye, and oat. Yes, these are the 5 species that could potentially turn into chametz, and therefore a person has to be very, very careful that it's not chametz, right? Anything else is the Rambam. For example, avala kitniyot, kegon orez. If you have kitniyot, legumes such as rice or kegon orez, the dohan. Dohan is millet. Millet you can buy for birds. If you have birds at home and you want to feed them Pesach, you cannot feed them chametz. So what do you buy? You go to Petland and you get millet, and you train them a week or 2 before Pesach. They should learn already to eat millet, and thereby your birds are going to stay alive for after Pesach. Beseder. What else do we have? We have lentils. We have beans. There's no isur of hametz. You take rice, you make it into flour, rice flour. There is such a thing. Of course, if the Rambam is saying it, there must be. There's a kemach oris. Or you make rice made out of whatever it is. Not rice. You make flour made out of whatever. Almond flour. I used to have a friend who used to make almond flour, corn flour, any types of flour. Yeah? He says if you take that, you put it in hot water, and you cover it with clothing until it starts to rise. You're going to say, maybe this is chametz. Says the Rambam, it's not chametz. The only types of chametz you have is wheat, barley, oat, rice, spelt, or spelt, rye, oat. Nikman. 5 species. So the Rambam Meforash here is posek lahalacha that kitniyot are mutar. Kitniyot are legumes, and they're allowed. Yes? And therefore, this is the tradition in the Edot HaMizrach homes, in the Sephardi homes. This is the tradition. That they're allowed to eat kitniyot. Yes? Some Bukharians have a tradition of minhag not to eat kitniyot. Okay. Tabu alechem beracha. Beseder, because they didn't eat it in the old country. Beseder. This, in truth, came from Ashkenazi sources. Yes? Ashkenazi sources. There was influx of Ashkenazi, maybe the Rabbanim were Ashkenazim in that time, in that region. And that's why some of the traditions that were absorbed for Pesach, they're from that side. Right? But okay. Ish keminhago. A person according to his minhag. But generally, the Edot HaMizrachnikim, yes, they do not have isur of kitniyot, especially if you move to Eretz Israel, for sure. Eretz Israel is called Atra de Maran. What does it mean, Atra de Maran? It's the place of the Shulchan Aruch, and he's the authority of Eretz Israel, Maran al Shulchan Aruch, and he writes Meforash also that it is mutar, it is permissible to eat kitniyot. Okay, next halakha. We wanted to know about our wine cookies. Halakha Aleph could be found in the Shulchan Aruch. Why doesn't it specify? In Siman Taf Nun Gimel it says. Okay, next. Hameshet Minei Dagan. 5 grains, 5 types of grains. Elu im lashan v'mei perot bilvad. If you take fruit juice, you take juice made out of fruit, and this is a big discussion in the world, a big discussion. You take fruit juice and you mix it with flour. Yes? You mix it with flour, you mix it with flour, you mix it with flour, and you make it into dough. It becomes dough, and now you make cookies. Do those cookies become hametz? Says the Rambam, Hameshet Minei Dagan, Elu, Im Lashan V'mei Perot. If you kneaded dough with fruit juice, Bilvad, Mei Perot Bilvad, it has to be complete, 100% natural, fresh, not fresh, but natural fruit juice, no concentrate. Belo Shum Mayim, without any water, Le'olam, En Ba'im Lidei Himutz. They never become Hametz, says the Rambam. Unbelievable. You hear what he's saying? The Rambam says if you take flour, kosher LaPesach flour, kosher LaPesach flour, yeah, we have to stress that, regular flour at home, we cannot use. Kosher LaPesach flour, and you mix with that fruit juice, that's 100%, you squeezed lemons in your house, and you squeezed oranges, etc., throw them in. Says the Rambam, you leave it like that all day, it doesn't turn into Hametz. It doesn't become Hametz. And it's not just the opinion of the Rambam. You're allowed to eat it, says the Rambam. Now in truth, there's Girsaot. Not everybody agrees to this. There's a Girsa and Rashi, or not a Girsa, there's Shita of Rashi. Rashi doesn't agree with this. Rashi's Girsa in the Gemara is that you don't come to karet. That if you eat these wine cookies, you don't come to karet, but still it's not allowed. Karet means a cutting off of the neshama. That's Rashi's Girsa. Everyone else learns it not like Rashi. The Rambam, for example, says mutar, you're allowed to eat it. Yes? So from here, you're going to come out with many, many different things. For example, egg matzot. You have also, you have the wine cookies, right? That what, according to this Rambam, and it's codified also in the Shulchan Aruch, it is mutar. The Ashkenazim are mahmir. Ashkenazim are strict. They don't eat this. Ashkenazim will not eat these wine cookies. Yes? But Sfaradim and Adot HaMizrahnikim, they're allowed to eat these wine cookies if they want. They're allowed to eat them. And okay, some people, they make all sorts of different ta'anot and hotzaot shemra, etc., without doing proper research. But lema'aseh, it comes out, if you want to eat those cookies, you can eat those cookies. Next, she'en me perot mahmitzim ela masrihin. Why? Me perot doesn't make chametz. But you have to be careful, says the Rambam. If you mix fruit juice with water, and then you put it into flour, you want to make cinnamon raisin bagel. Yeah, Pesach. Yeah, you want to make cinnamon raisin. It's very dangerous what the Rambam is saying. Imagine a guy, he makes cinnamon raisin bagel. Oh, Pesach! He says, no, I use only fruit juice. I put only 100% squeezed apple juice. Yeah, together with what? Together with flour. And here I have a bagel now. Azak Baruch, Kasher Pesach. You would be shocked, no? You'd fall off your shade. What is this? But the halakha, it's not hametz. It's not hametz. כך פוסק הרמב"ם וכך פוסק השולחן ערוך. Now, שאין בפירות מחמיצים אלא מסריחים, ומפירות הן כגון יין וחלב ודבש וזית, ומתפוחים, ומרימונים, וכל כיוצא בהם משאר ינות ושמנים ומשקים. Oil, everything else. It's not water. It's considered מפירות, fruit juice, and therefore that's allowed. However, והוא שלא יתערב בהן שום מים בעולם. If any water comes in contact with those cookies, it's a total loss. It becomes hametz. Yes? It's able to turn into hametz, and therefore a person has to be careful with this halakha. That when did we say meperot and mahmitzin? Only when it's 100% meperot, 100% fruit juice. So what did we learn today? We learned first of all, kitniyot are not asur. It's not asur, it's not asur. If you're going to have an Ashkenazi guest for Pesach, you shouldn't make for him kitniyot. You should make for him something, make him a steak, I don't know what. Make him something no kitniyot, make him some potatoes. Yes, but it's not asur. It's not chas v'shalom. So sometimes you go somewhere, the sushi store opens on Pesach sometimes. You tell them, can I get sushi? We don't carry rice. Why you don't carry rice? We don't carry rice. Chas v'shalom, asur, hametz. What hametz? There's no hametz in rice. Rice is not hametz. You serve hadash, not kemach yashan, which is according to us asur min Torah. That's beseder, no problem. I'll serve you hadash, but rice? No, chas v'shalom, rice. Hametz. Rice is not hametz. There used to be hashashot, there used to be factories that were next to the rice, of wheat, etc. Today, the minhag became, you check the rice one time. It used to be they used to check rice 3 times. Yes? Right or wrong? But Rabbi Israeli says, and Rabbi David Yosef also says, and many other Gedolim say today, it's enough to check it one time. One time you go like this, you check it, Yeshivot Amiyat, if it's clean, it's good to go. You can use that rice for Pesach. No problem. So rice is mutar. The other legumes for the Edot HaMizrahnikim, it's mutar, it's permissible. And those who have a tradition, a minhag, not to eat it, okay, you can adhere to your minhag. Some people don't eat. I try not to eat kitniyot. I try not to eat kitniyot. Why? One of the Rabbanim told me this was the minhag back in the day. Tov le'haz minhag. It's good. But that's b'tzir'ah. That's in private. That's not in public. If my kids want to eat bamba on Pesach, I let them eat bamba on Pesach. No problem. It's not chametz. It's not chametz. Yes, and so to all other legumes. One more thing, dairy products. Dairy products are mutar. They're not asur. There's no chametz in dairy products as long as it comes with the kosher hechsher, OUP. Halakha says you can eat the dairy products also. In the old country, some people wouldn't eat dairy, mechashash chametz, and some people wouldn't feed their animals chametz a month before Pesach already. Can you imagine? 1 month before Pesach, he wouldn't feed his cows chametz, chasu shalom. Yes? That just shows you the yirat shamayim, at least the taharat alev that people had once upon a time, that they loved Hashem so much that they were choshesh to everything chametz. They wouldn't touch chametz. They wouldn't come a mile away from chametz. It was very good. But today, we have an abundance of dairy products, and you can eat dairy products. It's not asur, as long as it comes with a kosher and reliable hashgaha. So we learned, kitniyot are mutar. We learned the matzot, meaning matzah, ashira, and other products that's made with pure juice or egg or oil, and not with water, that doesn't become hametz, and therefore you can consume those cookies if you want. You can eat them. They're not considered asur. Khaimov would give a hechsher on these cookies. There was a rabbi, Bakshi Doron. He wrote against it. He said, I'm not happy with these cookies. Why? Because they put all sorts of enzymes into the cookies. Yeah, to make it, how you say?
Puffy.
To make it puffy. Okay, so one guy tells me, I don't bring the cookies into my house. I agree with him somewhat, because it's not Pesach already. He's eating cookies. You come to his house, he's eating cookies, and then he's eating bagels at Pesach. What are you doing? What do you mean, Rambam? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm following halakha. So you have to be careful that Pesach should be Pesach. I agree with you. What's special sometimes is that the fact that it's different. Yeah, you don't eat the same food you eat throughout the year. I remember when I was a kid, my mother used to make the soup. Yeah, the one with the egg, masojo shak they call it. Yeah? And I always used to bother her like, why you only make this Pesach? Make it the whole year. What's the no Pesach? What's the big deal? Just throw some eggs into the soup. Only Pesach. Why? Because Pesach has to be special. Yeah? So some people don't eat these cookies and cakes and everything else. Beseder. You don't want to eat them? Okay, beseder. You want to keep to the spirit of Pesach? No. Good to go. No problem. But lemaaseh, it's not chametz, and to speak against it without doing the right research, lotov. Right? But so that's point number 2. Beseder, Rabotai. For today, we will call it a day. We have a rabbi who came to visit us, and he would like to say a few words.